for the invitation to come along today and speak to you. I'm looking at the weather and looking around me. I think I'm going to have to get better friends. But it's good to be with you, and with all sincerity, I admire the stance that you have taken on this position every single Saturday for years and years and years combined. And you can't help but think that walking around from Sandy Road here this morning, if you look at the city, you look at the fabric of the city, look at the makeup of the city. This is the city that our people built. 1908, when Belfast was booming and industry was growing well, it was our forefathers. Belfast was an 88% Ulster Scots Protestant town. It was our forefathers, our people, who worked in the shipyards, the linen industries and the mills that gave Belfast its wealth. But look at the City Hall behind us. It was our forefathers that built the City Hall behind us. And we think that now perhaps we don't feel welcome in the very city that we built and opened up to all creeds and faiths. Like I said, our forefathers, the forefathers of the Sandy Row Orangemen, worked the scaffolding that gave this city its shipbuilding industry and made the city a prosperous city for people of other faiths and other creeds. The rope works and linen mills were manned by our grandfathers and grandmothers, and we gave this city its industrial heritage. Belfast was prosperous for everyone. A wealth that built this great city hall behind us. A city hall, and it is a great city hall. It's beautiful, and its whose foundation is built on freedom. You ask, where did the freedom come from? The very freedom of the city came from the shed blood of who? Of our people again. Our people who were butchered in 2 world wars. Our people who were butchered by the IRA to ensure a freedom for this city of civil and religious liberties for all and of special privileges for none. The shed blood of our people for the freedom of Belfast was shed under the flag of this country, and today that same standard is removed as an offence from the building to which we gave so much. We as a people had nothing to give this city but sweat, blood and tears, and we gave it freely. So when you look around and parade through these great buildings that tower above us, be proud. Our people built it, and we should feel ownership of what we've built. But do we? Do we feel ownership anymore of the very city that we built? Today, do you feel represented in this city that you own, that your DNA runs so deeply through? So we're going to look at today, what does Belfast offer us today? How has our people fared that gave us so much freedom and that we gave so much to freely? How do we stand today? Educational achievement in working class Protestant school children is the worst standard in Western Europe. We look at jobs, are there opportunities for our young people? There's neglect and there's dereliction and there's drugs and there's apathy and there's a forlorn hope in the communities that we come from, the communities that built this city. In redevelopment, our communities may not have much, but we're proud of them and we're proud of where we come from. There's no consultation with our communities and there's no regeneration. Our communities rot and waste when we look at it with envy at flourishing nationalist communities. Developers aren't encouraged to invest in unionist areas. We look at housing. Our communities in Northern Ireland have a 44,000 strong waiting list for housing. 44,000 people waiting on the housing register. There's 22,000 people homeless in Northern Ireland. And we're forlorn. And this is the city that we built. So culturally then, how do you feel represented by the direction in which Belfast is headed? So this year Belfast has applied to hold the Irish National Famine Commemoration event, an Irish government event that Michael Higgins will be speaking at, held in Belfast. Belfast has applied to hold the Irish flag, the All-Ireland flag, with its £2 million worth of costs. Belfast has applied to hold the Irish National Language Festival from the 1st to the 17th of March with £250,000 worth of funding. The Irish language is in full steam ahead. The Olympia Leisure Centre, Ebor Street, Ballysullen Road, all down to Irish language street signage. Applications that do more than name a street. They rewrite history. So I think that as we stopped at the Brown Bridge this morning, we look at our own heritage wasting away, and the statutory bodies aren't listening. With no opposition to the lives or aspirations of those with an Irish identity, but when that aspiration receives an exorbitant percentile of funding that directly takes money from our economy, then we will and do have an issue. Money that an under-financed health service so desperately needs, money that an underachieving working class Protestant and school kids desperately need, money that could be better spent on roads, finances that during a time of economic hardships could be used to reduce household rates. And we see that there's a determination from the government to offer nationalism the blank cheque of appeasement. A blank cheque for Casement Park, for example, that years ago with a cost of £77 million was told that money would be no obstacle, is now in excess of £140 million. The same Casement Park where Corporals House and Woods were butchered, where the IRA held their rallies, and where the hunger strikers have a bronze memorial. So where's the legacy for our own football? Where's the inclusion for Northern Ireland? Belfast despises its heritage and has introduced a foreign identity and the perpetual appeasement of Sinn Féin. We look in comparison, for example, at Orange Fest, that runs the largest festival Northern Ireland and Ireland, if you want to include them, has ever seen, and it's been turned down for £30,000 worth of funding. Our orange cultures and our traditions exist in spite of governance, not because of them. Do you remember the promotion to get a few £1,000s for the village bonfire, and it was turned down again? If you look at the future, where does the future stand for Northern Ireland? The Belfast agenda is to bring in 66,000 immigrants into Belfast in the next 12 years. 66,000 people into a city that doesn't have room for our own people to get an NHS dentist. It doesn't have room for our own people to get a GP's appointment. Where there's already 44,000 people in the waiting list. Where there's already 22,000 people homeless. Where there's schools at maximum capacity. Where do we go from here? This is our city. Our forefathers built it. So we must stand together. It's incumbent on us to make sure that the people in governance hear our voice. I know there's only a few of us here and we're damp and wet, and we're going to let this go in a minute, but it's important that we keep going, because the future, if we don't, is just simply too bleak.
Here.
Yo, yeah.